What's up, Facebook followers? I'm Amy Shirley, your optimism rebel. I'm also the Inner Light instigator. I started Inner Light. We call it Inner Light because, long story short, I was a troublemaker, got sent to private school. It was a Quaker school, and Quakers practice peacefulness, lightheartedness, and inner light. So I'm starting, I think, a few moments early, but that's also just because I might unexpectedly have my now homeschooled children showing up right as our class begins. So I just wanted to check in and get grounded and centered before that potentially happens. And I signed up for Venmo, so I'm excited about that. If anybody wants to send a donation towards the studio during this time, it's Amy-Shirley, AMI-SHIRLEY. Donations accepted and hugs given when that's allowed again. And for today, I actually just want to start us up with some neck, shoulder, chest, headache stuff that I practice on a regular basis, especially because where I live anyhow, I bet you there is a beautiful rainbow someplace. But it's been such a cold, damp day, and the sun is just coming out, which is why I just got excited. But if you have a yoga mat at home, you can also use it in this way. So I'm gonna put my yoga mat right here, and I'm gonna rest my neck on top of the yoga mat so that my head hangs over, and that my spine is on the other side. This is one time where I'm like, yeah, go ahead and lift that chin forward. Most of the time I'm like, pull your chin back. So I'm gonna demonstrate my little headache technique. I actually have a pillow at home that has a bit of a sharper corner here for me to hang my head off of. But with a yoga mat, all I'm gonna do is kind of pull it closer towards my shoulders so that my head hangs more, and there's a little bit of traction happening at the base of the skull. So if you think about what's going on, your head is an 8 to 10 pound bowling ball, and it's being balanced on a broomstick. That's what's going on right now skeletally with your spine and your head. Now there's a lot of great muscles that help secure that really unstable balancing act between the broomstick and the bowling ball. And those muscles sometimes need attention, especially on damp, rainy days. For me personally, when the pressure drops, I tend to get headaches. Mine go from the base of the skull right here, where the head meets the neck, and then it creates this halo that includes the front of my neck, my throat, all around my ears, and across my eyes and my cheekbones. So something that I do pretty consistently on rainy days is this right here. And you can just hang out like this for 5 minutes, or sometimes I'll rest my forearm on my eyebrows just to apply a little bit of pressure. And if that's not enough, I'll actually put the palms of my hands on my eyebrows, and you can see when I do that, I actually push my head back a little bit more. Don't do it to the point where it's uncomfortably painful. Like, yeah, pain sometimes is good to help you get through muscle tension, but don't hurt yourself. Know your limits. And then sometimes I'll rock from side to side, even using my hands, not so much my neck muscles, to cause that rocking action to happen. Or sometimes I'll use my thumb knuckles to push. I go from the bridge of the nose up into the eyebrows and just push and release. And you can push and release in the same spot. You can hold in that spot where the eyebrows meet the nose, or you can work your way out along the whole eyebrow bone. And then sometimes I'll use the flat part of my palm here on either side of my eyes, on the temples, and I'll squeeze and release. You want to think of the motion to be pumping, like you're pumping the blood and the cerebral spinal fluid and the lymphatic fluid, any fluid in the body that might be building up and causing inflammation. You want to manually pump it by squeezing and releasing. And then I'll take all of my fingertips and my thumb and just put it all around my ear and do circles and move them around. I'm even letting my head kind of do a figure 8 motion. My head's not doing it, my fingertips are doing it. And then sometimes I need a little bit of extra work here in front of the ear at the jaw, and I'll just put 2 fingers right in front of the ear hole and open my jaw and shut it a few times. Again, a pumping motion. And then I'm actually going to turn my head over to this side so that I'm getting a nice stretch and compression. I'm getting a compression on this side and a stretch through this side. And then again, I'll press with my hands. Breathing is important too. And then I'll go to the other side. And I'm using my hands to push. I'm like pushing down and slightly up. And gently rocking. And then I'll bring the head back and I'll use my fingers right here at the base of the skull, and I'll rock from side to side, just rocking the weight of the head. Now my head is actually doing the motion, but my fingers are there, and I'm rocking the weight of the head onto the fingertips. Another thing that we can do here is take the mat this way, and my tushy, my hips are still going to be on the floor, but my spine is going to be elevated and resting on the mat. And you can either have your legs straight or your feet pressed together and your knees butterflied out to the side. I like to bring my arms either out to the side or up overhead. And breathe. Now for some people watching, this might actually be too much already. You're like, nope, that's not going to happen. And that's okay. For you, you might want to start with child's pose. or just laying on your back with your knees pulled in towards your chest, or maybe even just one knee pulled towards your chest. Okay, so you can do that if you have a yoga mat at home. I would suggest doing it for an actual 5 minutes, but I also want to begin with a little bit of instruction, and also along the lines of the migraine and headache work. The space that I was massaging was here and out along the eyebrows. I was applying firm pressure right here, and the yoga mat was behind my neck at the base of the skull, so there was pressure being applied there. I was working the jaw, particularly around the ears. I was working behind the ears, and right now I'm going to do a little massage technique here too. Now don't choke yourself out. I can't see you, so respect what your body has to say about this. I'm going to massage this little muscle. And it's a muscle, it's called SCM because it connects at the sternum, the clavicle, and the mastoid. So it attaches the jaw, the shoulder, and the neck area. So I'm going to turn my neck to the right, use my right thumb on the outside of this muscle that pops up, and my index finger, not the pointy part of the finger, but the side of the finger, to kind of pinch that muscle and just rock my head back and forth. And you can pinch at different places along that muscle. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So left side of the neck and the left, it's like you're doing a ducky grip. And you're just pinching and then holding the pinch as you rock the head from side to side to accomplish the massage work. Alright, so that's a couple of headache pointers, and we are going to do a little bit of flowing class type stuff, but I'm going to get the little ones settled in. So I'll invite you to tune back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, maybe I'll just leave this rolling? No, tune back in 5 to 10 minutes.